For almost as long as Minecraft itself has existed, scripted Minecraft content here on YouTube has dominated the content creation scene. For well over a decade now on this platform, countless children spanning across several generations have been raised on a diet of scripted content of all different kinds. From long-running roleplays to loosely staged survival videos to live-stream survival multiplayer storylines that took the collective culture of the internet by storm during a global pandemic. And lately, scripted Minecraft content has been on the rise once more online, with news stories like Unstable Universe, Parkour Civilization, and Ivory TV's Whitepine gathering cult followings of their very own. In my last video on scripted Minecraft content, I voiced my dissatisfaction with the genre and its current state of stagnation by analyzing the 3 shows I mentioned previously as a case study for what Minecraft videos do well at present, and the ways the entire format could stand to improve in the future. Ultimately, I came to the conclusion that scripted Minecraft content works best when its creators are unafraid to embrace its scripted nature and take themselves seriously to create an earnestly expressive work of art. And while that was a succinct summation of the problems facing scripted Minecraft content, it wasn't exactly a solution to the problem itself. Personally, from my perspective as an outside observer, a watcher forever sentenced to the sidelines, scripted Minecraft content's biggest problem is that, for the most part, the genre stays within the rigid confines and stylistic signifiers of typical YouTube gameplay content. This, in of itself, isn't a bad thing, but it becomes one when people are led to believe that nothing else outside of this narrow purview is even possible. But recently, an ancient, long-dormant form of scripted Minecraft content has been slowly re-emerging back onto the online scene. I am, of course, referring to none other than the triumphant return of Minecraft Machinima, videos that use Minecraft to make movies. In this video, we'll be covering 3 different categories of Minecraft movies made by creators that range from some of the most popular on the platform to independent channels with under 1,000 subscribers to their name, to give you the perspective you need to understand this medium's power and potential. And hopefully, along the way, we'll uncover why Minecraft Machinima holds the key to the future of Minecraft content creation here on YouTube. That's right, leggies and gentlemen. We're doing a sequel. We're back by popular demand. Come on, everybody, strike up the band, because in this video, now that we know the problem with scripted Minecraft content, we can finally uncover its solution. We begin the story of Minecraft Machinima at the very beginning. Not the beginning of Minecraft itself, or the beginning of YouTube, but rather, at the beginning of... Okay, so this might seem like yet another completely random tangential interjection that exists for absolutely no reason, but stick with me here, because I promise this is going somewhere. Because I do genuinely believe that not only can scripted Minecraft content trace its roots back to ancient Greece, but the evolution of scripted Minecraft content into its ultimate form of Minecraft Machinima mirrors the evolution of a very certain type of art throughout human history. Because I believe that most Minecraft videos don't descend from movies, they descend from theater. And this might sound confusing and even contradictory, since scripted Minecraft content has historically taken the form of video, specifically videos of video games, so if you would, allow me to explain. The ancient Greeks believed drama was one of the highest arts, so much so that many of their most famous surviving structures are outdoor amphitheaters designed for performance of the oral tradition, and their most influential surviving cultural effects are their dramas and epic poems. Drama follows a very certain stable structure. There is tragedy and irony inherent in the genre, and a central protagonist beset by a fatal flaw. When the camera was first invented, many believed that it would ultimately be little more than an extension of theater, of drama, a way for performance on the stage to be captured from a fixed position and preserved for posterity. And today, that is still one of the uses of the camera. But if you've ever watched a movie before, I think you'll agree that a movie is something different than a recording of a stage play. Movies absorbed part of their DNA from theater and drama, but they took those parts and turned them into a different type of art. They're both still art, mind you, but art created in different modes. Returning to scripted Minecraft content, I think the evolution of Minecraft videos follows a similar structure to the Greek conception of drama. I would contend that Minecraft content creation, at its inception, owes its existence less to the cinematic tradition, or the tradition of the visual arts, and more to the tradition of the performing arts. Your typical Minecraft video is like a miniature self-contained drama because typically it's shot from a single perspective, the first-person perspective of the player, who plays the role of our dramatic hero. And even though the player moves through the world and has a full range of motion and autonomy, we the viewers are confined to their perspective, exclusively their perspective, and the events of a Minecraft Let's Play are bound to the player, the narrative diffused through their dramatic flaws. Most of these Minecraft videos don't make use of cinema or cinematography or any cinematic concepts whatsoever. They might masquerade as movies or try to co-opt the language of film to legitimize themselves in that sphere, but they're really more akin to a classical drama. Again, that doesn't mean they're not art, it just means they're a different type of art than movies. Scripted Minecraft content transformed from drama to cinema with the creation of Minecraft Machinima, which has existed on the internet for just about as long as Minecraft Let's Plays themselves. And much like very early movies, early Minecraft Machinima began as a way to record the experience of a play, in this case of playing the game. Minecraft Machinima began as a way to tell stories that took place within the game of Minecraft, but the liberation of the camera from the first person's perspective of the player allowed for the third person's cinematic context to officially be established. And with this new perspective came new techniques, new ways to tell stories visually through the montage of moving images rather than through the dialogues of drama. Today, even some first-person Minecraft Let's Plays dabble in the occasional bit of third-person machinima, indicating that the medium of YouTube videos allows for a unique mingling of these different modes. However, for many years, Minecraft Machinima remained less popular than other video game machinima counterparts on YouTube and other early video sharing platforms. This was for a myriad of reasons. Firstly, traditional Minecraft content, both scripted and spontaneous, was so popular that Minecraft Machinima was always doomed to occupy a comparatively smaller niche in the online space. Additionally, even in the early days of YouTube, the game of Minecraft itself and the filmmaking tools available within it were both crude and inhibitive to creative aspirations. The best in-game camera mod Minecraft had to offer, Replay, was clunky and counterintuitive, as was the limited number of options in early alpha of Minecraft's block palette. But recently, these restraints on Minecraft Machinima have steadily been lifted one by one. Minecraft's default vanilla options for building and creativity are more varied and vast than ever before, and if those aren't to your liking, there are no shortage of options to supplement the base game. Filmmaking tools for Minecraft have become more sophisticated too, with shaders able to change the look of the game, and mods like Flashback supplanting Replay with a greater degree of professional filmmaking capabilities. And in response, we've seen a modern resurgence of Minecraft Machinima as artists and filmmakers play with these capabilities, sparked, in large part, by the release of Ivory TV's seminal serial Whitepine. This is, in my opinion, the absolute pinnacle of what Minecraft Machinima can be, and it's easy to see why it sparked such a filmmaking revolution here on Minecraft YouTube. Ivory has such a sound understanding of how cinema functions as a distinct form of art. What makes Whitepine work isn't elaborate in-game special effects or sprawling, well-built set pieces. It's basic movie-making concepts like pure cinema, montage, blocking, cinematography, and editing, executed on an insanely high level for this specific form. However, if you're familiar with the Frostbyte Freeman YouTube channel, you might also be familiar with the fact that I've already discussed Whitepine before, in exhaustive detail at that. I've dedicated 2 hour-long video essays to understanding its lore, and one forthcoming written essay in the Minecraft Metatext Zine purely to unpack how Ivory's style functions as a filmmaker. So, rather than showing Whitepine to the class again for the 1000th time, I want to take a look at 6 other Minecraft movies and shows that utilize the block game as a filmmaking medium. For convenience, we'll be splitting these Minecraft Machinimas up into 3 separate categories. 2 Machinimas that prioritize their script, 2 Machinimas that prioritize technical proficiency, and 2 Machinimas that try their best to balance a bit of both. Once again, to clarify, no one of these categories is inherently better than or superior to the others. These simply reflect choices made by their respective filmmakers in service of telling the Minecraft stories they wanted to tell, and I've split them up in this way in order to hopefully make the strengths and shortcomings of each approach more readily apparent to the viewer. Throughout the course of this video, I might sometimes sound harsh or critical, but that's because I genuinely like each and every last one of these 6 Minecraft Machinimas, and I want to see the filmmakers behind them continue to change, grow, and evolve. Because, you see, I don't like movies like these. I love them. Got it? Good. We'll start with the script 4 examples from our Minecraft Machinima smorgasbord. Minecraft movies that prioritize the story they want to tell over the special effects or complicated filmmaking techniques they're telling it with. And that means starting with a director I've already discussed on this channel before. That's right. I'm once again talking about the one, the only, Parrot X2. Previously, I've covered Parrot's work in my first video on scripted Minecraft content, where I gave a less than glowing review to his early Unstable Universe videos, criticizing their pacing and plotting structure, which allowed characterization to slip through the cracks. I concluded that review, however, with the editorial comment that it seemed like he was starting to acknowledge his shortcomings as a creative, and to my surprise, in the fullness of time, I was proven right. With the director arc, Parrot was able to focus the strengths of the Unstable Universe on its compelling set pieces while grounding the action in the development of its core cast of characters. And as someone who wasn't the biggest fan of early Unstable, I think this latest arc was at least a substantive improvement. But we're not here to talk about Unstable Universe again, because Unstable isn't a machinima, it's a drama. Again, these videos are still art, just not cinema. Not the type of art that movies are, and thus not the subject we'll be discussing here today. No, what I want to talk about is a little-known video on a second channel I didn't even know Parrot had until I checked the comments on my first scripted content video. I want to talk about Search for the Lost Totem. Search for the Lost Totem is a Minecraft machinima produced by both Parrot X2 and Planet Lord on their joint channel, The Cusp. To this date, it is the only full-length film on this channel that both creators have produced in collaboration. And since neither the description of the video nor the non-existent credits of the film itself indicate screenplay credits or attribute one creator or the other as the film's central director, I'll be treating the both of them as its primary auteurs. Its place in the script 4 machinima category is made all the more startling by the fact that one of its creators is best known for only a semi-scripted, extemporaneous recording style with just a handful of explicitly pre-planned lines. Here, though, there are discernible arcs, written exchanges of dialogue, storyboarded shots, instances of foreshadowing, and broader creative designs beyond the form of life that is mere YouTube content creation. For a joint channel with no previous output, it's a massive swing compared to the type of stuff Parrot and Planet were best known for at the time. Parrot's work on early Unstable Universe, which is rife with lamp shading and metatextual fourth wall breaks out of some forced obligation of irony, is such a stark departure from the straightforward earnestness of this movie that I was honestly taken aback. There's even some nice understanding of cinematic concepts here too, some clever match cuts to act as capstones for flashbacks, for instance, of the sort that Parrot in particular hasn't ever really dabbled in before, or since. Search for the Lost Totem is a machinima, after all, while Unstable is a drama. The latter has little room for the external, third-person perspective of the disembodied camera, divorced from Parrot's central point of view. The one time I've seen both Planet and Parrot try their hand at this sort of filmmaking, as opposed to mere content creation, though, I'm pleasantly surprised to find they're not too shabby at it. Not by a long shot. And maybe that's partly why I find myself so profoundly disappointed with Unstable Universe. At least the early stuff, anyways. I wanted to like it. I wouldn't have watched it if I didn't. But now I know, beyond a shadow of doubt, that its creators are capable of doing and making so much better. This film does allude to broader stakes and a plot beyond the immediate confines of our purview, but these elements are grounded in the stories of the town and its people at the center of the narrative. It isn't concerned with creating the most massive set pieces or staggering enormous stages. It shrinks its scope for the sake of its story, and I think it's all the better for that creative decision. If Parrot and Planet had stayed the course, it would have been fascinating to watch them try and foster a further level of filmmaking competency with the concepts and tools they were just scratching the surface of here. Alas, that was not to be. Search for the Lost Totem predates Unstable Universe, and it's pretty clear that the exhaustive process of creating a film like this was the primary motivating factor for the recorded gameplay format Unstable would go on to assume. 700,000 views is a lot, but not in terms of the economies of scale that Parrot and Planet were accustomed to. When a channel reaches the critical mass that theirs have, risk-reward ratios become the name of the game, and the return on investment for an ambitious project like Search for the Lost Totem just couldn't cut it. I understand the calculus behind the decision, and yet, I can't help but mourn what might have been had they stayed the course. At barely under an hour, Search for the Lost Totem is a simple story told well, made all the more tragic by the fate of abandonment that ultimately befell it. From a now-defunct Machinima series, however, we turn our attention to one just now beginning. Our second sample from the script-forward category of Minecraft Machinima is the pilot episode of Pyroscythe's Wickwatcher. Perhaps best known to viewers of this channel as one of the principal actors of Whitepine, this is Pyro's first turn behind the camera as opposed to in front, which in turn makes much of Wickwatcher a grand experiment to find his own voice as a filmmaker. And as experiments go, it's an incredibly ambitious one. In the pilot episode, Wickwatcher asks much of its audience, trying to flesh out its entire fantastical world, as well as the political factions sowing discord across the land. The pacing of Wickwatcher's first episode suffers a fair bit due to the sheer volume of exposition required to establish this world and its central conflict. This is perhaps the most literal example of a script-forward machinima I could possibly conjure, packed with dense exposition and dialogue required to set the stage for the simmering political conflict at the root of its blocky world. It takes a fair few tangents and digressions to get there, but ultimately when it does, it's captivating enough to leave you wanting more. In terms of the series' competency behind the camera, I'm especially intrigued by these almost split diopter-like shots in the opening sequence. Shots like these enable a complete equivalence of focus if the director so chooses, which is one of the most unique and fascinating quirks of Minecraft as a filmmaking medium. And for the most part, this is the mode Wickwatcher is predominantly shot in, without shaders acting to establish a depth of field. This decision preserves some of the original feel of Minecraft the game, or a traditional Minecraft drama, but also draws the eye to details in the background, characters drifting through scenes or sprinting across the quad. Through this creative choice, Pyroscythe is trying to create a feeling that Wickwatcher's central academy is bustling with life and activity, with the potential for sinister plots simmering below the surface. For future episodes of Wickwatcher, though, this is the thing I'm most excited to watch Pyroscythe develop, his eye behind the camera. I'm confident that some of the issues of the clunky pilot script stem from its nature as a pilot, given the sheer volume of setup that needs to be conveyed at the series' start. But watching him become more confident in his placement of the camera, more intentional with his composition and the blocking of shots, this, to me, is the most significant way Pyro's work can evolve. If a Minecraft show set in a homebrewed fantasy world, set around the events transpiring within an elitist academy of higher education sounds like your cup of tea, I recommend you give Wickwatcher a shot. By comparing and contrasting these two machinimas, we can hopefully start to see some of the strengths and weaknesses of this script-forward approach. With lengthy, word-dense scripts, there's a greater focus on character and performance by the voice actors, which allows for more stripped-down filmmaking focus that preserves much of the game of Minecraft's look and feel. However, that isn't to say this is the objectively correct approach for making a Minecraft movie, just an approach, one of many. In stark contrast to this school of thought, machinimas prioritizing technical proficiency might have special effects, or greater degrees of attention to animation to make the player models feel more expressive in-game, but it also means a greater degree of competence behind the camera, more proficient execution of filmmaking forms. For this section, we'll be analyzing a little from column A and a little from column B. And from column A, we have Monka Blue's Faces in the Sky. Faces in the Sky is perhaps best considered a Minecraft miniseries split up into equal parts, and at present the entire show has been released, making this a rather rare case for this video essay since I can analyze the full thing in its entirety without needing to speculate about its future installments. Its greatest strength is obviously the sheer scope of its set pieces, the densely detailed world our characters inhabit. Every frame is a painting populated with life, and its first act does a magnificent job of establishing the series' curious mismatch of contemporary cultures and making it feel like a proper status quo, before we are sent hurtling headfirst into a series of colorful, fantastical realms beyond imagination. This world building is made all the more potent by a remarkably consistent art direction that reserves certain block palettes for certain settings or contexts, maximizing Minecraft's existing vanilla elements, and then further supplementing them with mods and custom models to fill in the gaps the game's default options just can't match. Series auteur Monka Blue also makes use of a marvelously simple but utterly ingenious technique I wish other machinimas would learn from. While they do employ custom, complicated animations throughout the miniseries for its massive action sequences, they've also found a way to inject life into the little scenes by swapping out different skins for the same character by using variations with tiny, pixelated tweaks in their expression. The show's metaphorical turned literal manifestation of grief is a touch heavy-handed and literal for my tastes, and the same can certainly be said of the script at certain points throughout its runtime, but that doesn't detract from the fact that this is a simple story told very well. It takes great pains to paint an exhaustive portrait of its central character, and by the conclusion of the miniseries, you feel you've undertaken this journey of discovery and denial right along with him. Plus, if that weren't enough to sell you on this show, Faces in the Sky is home to some of the best blocked and most unbelievably unique action sequences I've ever seen in a Minecraft machinima. I'm still shaking my head in awe and disbelief at how well the actual in-game footage was integrated with these extended animated sequences. According to Monka Blue, now that production on Faces in the Sky has wrapped, they have other ideas they'd want to explore, and I, for one, would be incredibly excited to see what those ideas are. Similar to Faces in the Sky, the next machinima in the technical category has no shortage of custom animations or bespoke models to complement its totally original builds. However, it couples these tools with, for my money, some of the most competent filmmaking and coherent vision in this entire list of Minecraft movies to create a finished product I can only describe as unusual. I am, of course, referring to Solving Whitepine, the show about a show. Solving Whitepine's premise takes a fair bit of explaining. This is a show about Whitepine, the show, and an entire community's attempts to solve it. As a result of this framing device, all Minecraft content is transplanted into a world where all YouTube videos exist in analog. Our characters occupy a sort of Minecraft meta-server seated inside a sunless, seedy city of the 1970s, where Whitepine, despite being a television show, is only available by requisition on film reels. Minecraft maps require specialized viewing apparatus, and YouTube video analyses are transformed into newspaper articles. Sammy and Ben, our protagonists, work for a newspaper called the Multiversal Times, which prints yellow journalism, that era's equivalent of YouTube clickbait. And, as if that weren't enough, the world our metatextual investigators of Solving Whitepine live within is itself coming apart at the seams, suggesting that not everything is as it seems. There's so many recursive layers of meta-commentary enveloping one another here that it's almost enough to make your head spin. And I haven't even gotten to the stuff with the clocks yet. What underpins the strange story of Solving Whitepine are its characters, which are consistently written and likable in spite of their soft-spoken nature. It's this core cast you come to care about, even though the mysterious reality-bending circumstances of their world are slowly distorting them beyond our recognition. By virtue of its very structure, though, Solving Whitepine's script can occasionally feel like its intentional obfuscation is born of an attempt to stay one step ahead of the audience, wanting to outsmart the viewer with its own internal mystery and paradoxically recursive story structure. That's not to say the clues aren't there to begin wondering what exactly is wrong at the core of this weird little world, but in the broader context of the series, its lavish swaths of silence and slowness are a luxury its eventual twist will have to earn. Whether or not it'll stick the landing remains a matter of time. And that's without even mentioning how certain lines, spoken by a certain character in Episode 3, are chock full of so much antiquated verbiage and alliterative vomit that they're rendered completely incomprehensible, like a parody of the person speaking. Who on the production team seriously thought it would be a good idea to give some random nobody voice actor final copy over their own dialogue? Boy, I sure hope somebody got fired for that blunder. Regardless, I agonized for ages on which of the three categories I outlined at the start of this video to put Solving Whitepine in. Ultimately, I decided to place it in the technically proficient container, not because its story is at all lacking, but because the technical elements of its production are what stand out the most about it to me. Every time I watch an episode of Solving Whitepine, and I mean this in the best, kindest way I possibly can, I cannot help but wish that the entire series would just end already, if only so I can see what Shadow does next. There's a level of intentionality here that most other Minecraft machinimas are very hard-pressed to match. This is a young filmmaker with big ambitions, taking a really big swing and using an established series as a jumping-off point for his own stories. Any lack of cohesion in the narrative stems from this very fact, as the show chafes against the constraints of its own premise. And yet, in spite of this, the sheer technical brilliance of the show shines through. Shadow is pulling out shots and compositions no other Minecraft machinima would even dare to attempt. Dutch tilts accomplished in camera, extended wonders that blend game-captured footage with elaborate animation, the sort of stuff that defies the comprehension of an amateur like myself and makes you fall in love with Minecraft as a filmmaking medium all over again. What I really want is to see Shadow abandon the pretext of using Whitepine as a premise within a premise to see what he's truly capable of when he unshackles himself from convention and strikes out on his own. This is a young filmmaker and creative cutting his teeth by trying his hand at theorization, playing with existing characters and worlds and ideas to synthesize something new out of his inspirations. That's how I got my start. Of course I'm going to be rooting for him. Am I biased? Sure, but only a little. And even with that bias aside, Solving Whitepine is one of my favorite shows in this entire video. If this oddball little series and its style sounds like it'd speak to you, I cannot recommend it enough. Obviously, judging by the sheer scale and scope of the two machinimas discussed in this section, it should be clear that this technically grouped approach is incredibly time-consuming. But what if we were to take yet another step upwards in difficulty? What about the rare machinimas where a creator writes an incredibly dense and demanding script, then backs up those demands with the technical acumen required to bring their vision into being? Minecraft movies like these are exceedingly rare, due to the sheer amount of time and skill required to reach this threshold, but the rare few that dare to try are, no doubt, the very best of the best around. I would argue that Whitepine most definitely occupies this category, but that's not to say it's entirely alone at the top of the mountain, either. At the start of this video, I offer the hypothesis that typical Minecraft Let's Plays and videos are a different form of art from Minecraft Machinima. The former descends from drama, the latter descends from cinema. But the line between these two modes is blurry, and sometimes, the best art recognizes this, then plays with those boundaries, poking fun at the hard and fast divisions we attempt to impose between those forms. Making a cinematic short or Minecraft animation about players simply playing the block game was how Minecraft Machinima first began here on YouTube. It's the most antiquated form of the genre possible. So to make these old ideas new again, it takes a truly inspired creative to put a fresh spin on time-worn tropes while still engaging with the form earnestly. This is a difficult balance to strike, but out of all the content creators on this platform, I believe Godis is not only the best at doing it, but doing it with style. Godis is best known for their work as a trapper on the Hoplite server, with their longest-running series of videos detailing their various exploits and attempts to use redstone in a PvP setting. They're also well known for their fully animated Awesomeville series, which is probably best described as an episodic sitcom starring three friends goofing around on a Minecraft server mirroring broader internet mores. But at a certain point, you kinda have to ask yourself, is this stuff even technically a machinima anymore? So many of Godis' videos are composed of elaborate animated sequences with actual gameplay only sparingly interspersed throughout the runtime. Their most elaborate videos are simply branded as animations, and I think that's probably the most accurate label one could concoct for them. Regardless of what it is, though, there's no denying that these videos constitute scripted content, and that by playing with tropes of both Machinima and Minecraft gameplay, they're pushing both forms to their limit. Even Godis' Let's Plays are given the tongue-in-cheek title of being based on a true story, since so much of the scenes are animated recreations of real events. This is a channel that rides the fine line between a Minecraft Machinima, a film told through Minecraft, and the typical dramatic arc of recorded Minecraft gameplay. And Godis pulls off this seemingly impossible feat with grace and good humor. The editing is punchy, the comedic beats are perfectly scripted. If your sense of humor is thoroughly desensitized to the internet and you're a certain type of chronically online, this particular brand of humor will be right up your alley. In a previous video on this channel, I discussed the seemingly unexpected connection between video games, movies, and silent film slapstick. Godis understands this connection, if not consciously, then intuitively, and so much of their sense of humor is founded on classic cartoonish buffoonery and shenanigans. I mean, their persona literally talks by using Minecraft signs in the in-game chat like they're silent film title cards. Come on, that's so cool. Godis' stuff is such a breath of fresh air in an otherwise stagnant space that it's honestly surprising their subscriber count is so small. Perhaps that's owed to the infrequency of their uploads, but each video is so time-intensive and incredibly high quality that, in my humble opinion, it's only a matter of time before they strike algorithmic gold and make it big. From a more unconventional form of Minecraft machinimation, however, we turn our attention to a more conventional machinima, because, in my humble opinion, I've saved the best for last. Despotism is really good. Bursty is my favorite Minecraft filmmaker I've discussed in this video, just beating out Shadowlord for that top spot, and just behind Ivory overall. There isn't so much one big thing that Despotism does well, so much as a series of little things that it gets very, very right that contribute to the show's overall quality. The mods, shaders, textures, and block palettes she's chosen all work together perfectly to give Despotism its own completely unique visual style that stands out distinctly in the space. The soundtrack, which the series' primary auteur herself composed, blends imposing techno-synth tunes with cool futuristic grooves, and once again this sonic accompaniment is just another element of the show that's perfectly woven into its tapestry of ideas. Its animations and special effects are innocuous enough that they blend right in, acting as an extension of the game-captured footage that only accentuates Minecraft's vanilla capabilities. And all of these disparate ideas come together to create a whole more than the sum of their parts, a pilot episode practically oozing this slick style and personality. Bursty's style as a filmmaker and writer is instantly recognizable from the opening scenes. It even bleeds into the title cards, giving the series' central character her own voice before she even speaks a single word aloud. You are completely immersed in the ground-level going-ons of this wasteland world, made to see it from the perspective of the smugglers and scrappers and mechanics just barely scraping by in the slums. These are people sequestered away from the halcyon, idyllic vision of the future promised by the despots that rule this ailing future world, and everything from the architecture to the composition of the frame subtly reinforces that fact. Despotism is really good. So good, in fact, that by the time you finish the first episode, you're just itching for more, only to realize that there isn't. Not yet, anyways. At the start of this video, I touted Minecraft Machinima as a solution to the problems of scripted Minecraft writ large, but Minecraft Machinimas have their own gaping, glaring Achilles heel, a fatal flaw impossible to ignore. And if these 6 examples of Minecraft filmmaking have shown you anything, it's that problem, in almost exhaustive detail. Because the problem with Minecraft Machinima is time. Bursty, Godis, Shadow, Monka Blue, all these filmmakers are creating their art all on their own, completely from the ground up, body acting every player model and part on screen. Compared to the relative ease with which other scripted and especially non-scripted Minecraft content can be constantly churned out, Minecraft Machinima just can't scale to match that level of output, that volume. That's precisely why one of the creators I highlighted in this video, Paradex2, made the major switch that led to the middling, algorithmically tailored early attempts at an unstable universe. Ultimately, the artistic desire that underlies the motivations of these creators of Machinima yields to the practical interests imposed by the form of content creation. This is, after all, a job for some people, and the return received for the time spent and risks taken just can't quite cut it. Perhaps that means Minecraft Machinima was, and still is, doomed to fail in the end, relegated to a less prominent position within the YouTube content creation meta. But I disagree, because I think that I, if I might be so bold, might just have a solution to this problem. You want me to let you in on a little secret? Something I've learned as a mere observer, a watcher, someone on the outside looking in? Movies aren't made alone. Movies are made by groups of people, groups where each person has their own unique set of talents that they bring to the production, and together, all these disparate parts forge a singular, cohesive whole. Now I know the whole appeal of Machinima is that you're watching the singular vision of a singular primary auteur. Filming within the game offers the artist complete creative control over their own work, so long as they subscribe to its constraints, and that can be a mightily intoxicating proposition. It's deep in the tradition of this art form to do it yourself, and there's this prevailing sentiment of individualism and independence in Machinima that's hard to shake. After all, you're already making movies in a suboptimal medium. You want to prove, perhaps to your audience, or even only to yourself, that it's even possible. For all you know, this might be the closest you ever come to making that dream real. And for a lot of these passion projects, I'm hard-pressed to truly argue against that. There's an undeniably compelling character to the lone auteur battling uphill. But I would argue that these are still early days for Minecraft Machinima as a proper mode of artistic expression. The tools are still young, there's still so much possibility and originality and weirdness that comes from any new medium experimenting and pushing the creative envelope against the grain. It still remains to be seen if this style of video is even algorithmically viable in the modern content creation meta. And I think that if scripted Minecraft content in this form wants its best possible chance at survival, at proving it deserves a place in the broader Minecraft scene, it's going to take collaboration. Traditionally, these Minecraft movies are made by one person laboring over every shot, using the mocap mod to record every individual player model and action taken by the actors. And for larger scenes or set pieces where an auteur wants total creative control, there's no replacing that technology. But it's just one tool in the filmmaker's toolbox. There are so many other new techniques in Minecraft Machinima that could be possible if filmmakers decided to pursue their visions together. Builders and redstoners and buildstoners could work side by side to design living, breathing set pieces for filming. These waving flags and spinning fans by Jake Kelton Crafts prove that animated backgrounds full of motion and life are entirely possible in Minecraft Machinima to add an additional degree of immersion to the scenery. The building community has come so far now that it'd be entirely possible to create blocky Minecraft matte paintings to replace the boring vanilla sky. Just look at these magnificent murals by Bismuth Thief that showcase the stylistic possibilities Minecraft mattes would open up. Animators could assist with the movements in more complicated scenes, creating more complex reactions than the vanilla moveset is capable of capturing. This trend of using content creators as actors and retaining details of their skins is a good one, but skin artists could help design bespoke wardrobes for each new character, or even edit popular skins to simulate pixelated prosthetics or wigs depending on what the script calls for. And why stop there? Bigger channels could act as producers or film studios, collaborating on movies and releasing them from their platforms for higher viewership. You could even create a Minecraft Machinima with a completely custom resource pack to give the base game a totally original look and feel to complement its themes. With patience, effort, teamwork, and time, it is now possible to create something that is, from top to bottom, an entirely Minecraft movie. The game now enables as much creative control over the finished product as you could possibly desire, so long as you desire your filmmaking medium to be pixelated and blocky. This is a time of unprecedented, untapped potential for Minecraft Machinima, and the only one capable of harnessing that potential is you. You, yes, you, those of you crazy enough to see the infinite worlds of potential and possibility that could be contained within a single, simple little square on your screen. The officially licensed Minecraft movie was the laughingstock of the internet, and in the wake of its release, a common rallying cry from the Minecraft community became, yeah, well, even we could have done better. So now, to those of you out there too scared to dream a whole dream, to the content creators in this community who made this your mantra, I'm telling you to put your money where your mouth is. You think you can make a better Minecraft movie? I think you can too, so prove it. Muster your friends, write scripts, and make skins, and tell stories. My last video on scripted Minecraft content came to a close with a statement that being called cringe is the price one pays to live a fully free life. I think that sarcasm, shame, irony, self-awareness, these are inhibitive to the growth of the new in its nascency. They inhibit development of Minecraft Machinima and scripted Minecraft content into a unique, new mode of artistic expression online. And I do believe that this is what Minecraft has the potential to be. This is a game that contains multitudes. Who says Minecraft can't be used to make movies, too? The solution to scripted Minecraft content is to work together and to strive for something sincere and genuine in a space that staves off community and a mad dash to the top of the mountain. After all, as they say, one who goes fast goes alone, but one who goes far goes with friends. The great enemy of artificial insincerity in this aloof, artificially intelligent age is community and sincerity. The solution to scripted Minecraft content, then, is to create content not to resonate with some algorithmic mandate, but with the human on the other side of the screen. The solution to scripted Minecraft content is to keep making videos that matter to you. But that's just the way I see it. I'm Frostbyte Freeman, and until next time, stay frosty.